Hello, I'm Sam from Jessup Says. The focus of my channel is to share and educate on how to buy less, buy better. Not necessarily about buying less things, it's about buying something that fits its purpose perfectly and serves you for as long as possible. I've recently been fairly focused on this idea of a capsule wardrobe, simply because of the simplicity of it, and also that I had this kind of realization that a lot of people do end up wearing basically the same set of clothes day in, day out, depending on what the weather is. As I'm a bit of a nerd and I have played the odd game here and there, I often find myself trying to achieve this idea of min-maxing whatever it is that I'm thinking about. Basically, this is the principle that I can have the most possible positives with the least possible negatives. It's sort of an interesting idea, and a question when turned to your wardrobe can have some interesting results. It's kind of like the buy less, buy better, but to the nth degree, the ultimate edition. Focusing on making something that can do basically everything, or infinitely everything ideally, making something as broadly versatile as possible. And it's important when you're doing this sort of min-maxing strategy to focus on having as few negative implications. And that's where today's pair of pants come in. If I say linen trousers, you probably think of beige or white, and that's probably fair enough and a fantastic option. But how many of you actually wear white trousers every single day? Because I'd wager, based on what I see out there, not too many of us. So let's be a little bit more realistic, shall we? Let's say you live in a hot climate and you need to wear linen, and you realistically think that white linen is too fragile and it may too easily get stained for your daily wear. So what do you do? Well, I'd like to suggest something that may not immediately seem obvious, but something that just might be the god tier min-max of summer trousers, and possibly trousers in general. Today I want to speak about the T005 from Informale, but this time they're black linen. So as I just said, the style is the T005, the color is black, and they are of course made in Melbourne by Informale. These ones feature an elasticated waistband with a drawstring which makes it adjustable in terms of sizing slightly. They feature a mid-high waist, a zip fly which features a Riri zipper. They are described as a loose cut with a double reverse pleat, 2 back pockets, and they are made from 100% linen. My pair I purchased in late 2021 for 360 Australian dollars, and I got a size 32, which is true to size, but I'll discuss that in more detail later. I wanted to start off by talking about linen. Linen does have an extensive history within menswear dating back numerous centuries. It's also known as a very hard-wearing and long-lasting material, or it was at the time. However, in modern times, linen seems to carry a rather casual connotation in contrast to its more formal status of the past, as well as it's inherited a reputation for being not so durable, thanks to the, in my opinion, lightweight and cheap linen that's most broadly available. But that's not the linen we're going to be talking about today. Today's linen is much more like that old-fashioned linen that is lasting and durable and made in a way that hasn't just dissipated into my hands over the last couple of years of ownership. More specifically, this linen, the black linen, is a 280 GSM sourced from Britain. But what does that 280 GSM even mean? Well, GSM means grams per square meter, and it refers to the density and weight of the fabric. In the case of linen, a higher GSM, like the 280, indicates a heavier and more substantial linen fabric. This translates to a more durable and resilient fabric over time versus those lighter weight fabrics that you might be more familiar with as linen. This extra density leads to greater hardiness, whilst also retaining linen's signature softness. It's kind of like cotton in that way, that it starts off quite crisp, but then over time it definitely gets very, very soft. The 280 GSM, that heavier weight, also allows the fabric to be very beautiful in its draping capabilities. That higher thread count enables the fabric to hold those folds. If you fold them up and put a nice crease down the front, that fold will stay there, allowing you to have a nice beautiful leg and a very nice drape, which is ideally what you want. This drape actually allows the air to circulate around your leg, not getting stuck and making you feel sticky and hot in that hot weather. And whilst linen always wrinkles, a 280 GSM fabric is going to retain that crisp line and that structure a lot better than a lower GSM fabric may. The final benefit of that high GSM is that it allows it to be a fantastic transitional fabric. Of course, fantastic for those very, very hot days, allowing the air to circulate around your legs and keep you nice and cool. But also, it's a fantastic fabric at keeping you insulated when it's slightly cold. Now, I'm not saying when it's snowing outside, but if it is a slightly colder day, linen still keeps you nice and insulated. It's one of those crazy fabrics, a bit like merino wool. The color itself, the black, is still very black, even though they've been worn more than 100 times. There is a little bit of light fading here and there, and especially around the crotch area, but I think it adds a bit of character to the trousers. I don't want them to be, super stuffy and stiff feeling. I want them to be transitional. I want them to be able to be worn in the most possible ways. And this fabric has allowed me to do that. The linen hasn't worn through anywhere. I can tell they're still in fantastic condition, which again, over 100 wears, and these are still very, very resilient, and I can't see them breaking down or, wearing through in any way. So definitely this linen seems to be very resilient to my kind of wear. I'm really happy with the material choice that Informale have made. It's a very nice fabric, it's a very comfortable fabric, and it's turned into a great versatile pair of trousers that can be worn in a very broad range of ways because of that material. Now, in that recent Informale collaboration video, we talked a lot about context, and I think that the contextual decisions made by Informale to create these T005s allowed them to be that truly sensational do-it-all trouser. It's all about combating the formality that the black fabric might imply by making it more casual and more comfortable, and therefore actually more wearable. It does this in a few different ways through construction elements. Some on the formal side and some on the more casual end. Starting off with the casual elements, which are the elasticated waistband with adjustable drawstring and the looser cut. Though you may consider a looser, more relaxed cut more formal, it is undoubtedly more casual than a very, very sleek tailored trouser. The elasticated waistband, on the other hand, is a lot more unusual for a tailored trouser. It's much more at home on a pair of track pants or somewhere, but here, combined with the other tailored elements, it allows the trouser to be both formal and casual at the same time, and both comfortable and elegant all in one. As for the more tailored elements, well, there's the mid-high waist and the double reverse pleats. The waist height for me is mostly about comfort, which is the height it's perfectly sitting at, and the same can be said for the pleats, which are there to allow the front of the trouser to open up when you're lifting your leg. Even though these both have origins in the formal tailored trouser universe, they've both been selected and combined here to provide comfort over everything, which kind of makes them casual. So I've talked a lot about how comfortable they are, so how do they fit? So to get these on initially might be a struggle. My glutes are a bit downsized at the moment by the feeling of how easily these did slip on. But if you do try a pair of these on, don't be surprised if they're a bit hard to get sort of over the bum the first time. They don't have a split in the waistband, so you can't just open them up. So you have to adjust your expectations if you've got large glutes. Once they're on though, I find them to be very, very comfortable. They sit just on or below my belly button for the rise, which is typically what I enjoy most, either there or around there. You notice immediately without tying the string up that they're very, very comfortable and kind of springy or spongy around the waistband, with the elasticated waistband allowing there to be just like a bit of movement in the waist, which is really comfortable. If you do tie them up, they hold very nicely in place and feel a lot more like a traditional tailored trouser might feel around your waist, comfortable and supportive. Through the front of the thigh, we have those two pleats on each side, which means there's a ton of extra room, even for the most chonky of thighs. This is probably why most guys that I know have tried these pants on like them, and I would definitely say if you've got large thighs to give these a try. Same goes for the glutes. They're comfortable, but they don't look too baggy through the seat, and if they do, Steve would definitely tailor them for you. He's very particular about those kinds of things. They actually feel more like a slouchy track pant trouser made from linen once they're on, and that continues down the leg. The calves themselves have plenty of room, and the drape allows them to move around freely. The squat test here would be absolutely no problem. For the length, I have them hemmed at full drape, and then I roll them a few times to have a really nice clean cuff, which keeps the end of the trouser weighed down and allows for that perfect drape. It's what I enjoy about these trousers. The fit overall, if I had to give a comparison, is probably like a tracksuit trouser. I don't know how that makes sense. Hopefully it does. They have a really nice, comfortable drape, and even though they look sort of like a tailored trouser, they have a fantastic combination when they're on, and you feel like you're sort of in a sneaky track pant. So this whole video has been about how these are the most versatile pants out there, from the color to the fabric to the construction, but how do we actually wear them? Starting off with a casual fit, wearing them with a t-shirt is very, very easy, and you can add any casual outerwear in any old color, and that was going to work very, very well. From navy to beige to brown, it all goes with a black trouser. Same goes for your t-shirt, it could be any of those colors. And I also like a baby blue overshirt, like the one that I'm wearing today. It works really, really nicely too. As for shoes, you could always go for a loafer or a white sneaker. Either way, it's going to be a great fit. As Steve recently pointed out in that Informale video, you can untuck your shirt to make it even more casual. If you want something a bit more formal, you can swap the t-shirt out for a nice button-up, be it a white OCBD or a blue one, both work fine. Change the shoes if you want, but ultimately the loafer is going to work great here too. And for outerwear, anything from the last options is going to work here, be it brown or navy, they all work with black. I guess for the final thing, you can of course throw on a sports coat and even a tie, some Oxfords. If you're really wanting that full formal look, these trousers really can do it all. And there it is, from couch to boardroom, from a mild winter to a very hot summer. The T005 in black linen could well be the single most versatile pair of pants that you can own. I don't know though, what do you think? Thanks very much for watching, links are in the description as always, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Cheers.